Right now, upcoming weather conditions are set to make treating the roads in Madison especially difficult. Braden Ross looks into the dilemma. Plus, a new local theater company represents their first musical this weekend. We'll tell you all about it. And later, what you need to know about plastic chemicals in processed foods. That's all coming up at 10. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks, and the frigid cold is largely behind us, but some winter weather is on the way, and it's shortly behind. And meteorologist Alex Harrington has more on that in your First One forecast.
Yeah, Jalen, we've been saying here in the First Warn Weather Team for days that the trade-off of the mild weather coming in when you bring in a weather system is messy weather. And we're adding an alert day here for Monday for all of southern Wisconsin. This is for a brief period of light snow and mixed precipitation, then followed by the potential for freezing drizzle. I've been mentioning for days our area roads, they're super cold. Just a little bit of freezing drizzle will make for slick spots, especially on those untreated roadways, those sidewalks. So that's alert day number 1, and then alert day number 2 for the long anticipated weather event that's going to bring freezing rain, a mix of wet snow. That's later Monday night going on into your Tuesday for 1 to 4 inches of possible snow accumulation. Let's break down the impacts here. That possible mix Monday morning, then we'll have a break. I want to emphasize there'll probably be a break your Monday evening and going into the portion of the overnight period. Then as we head towards Tuesday morning, the freezing rain turns back on, the wet snow turns back on. That transitions to wet snow through your Tuesday afternoon. So that through that whole period, Monday morning through Tuesday afternoon, the roads are already bad. You add these icy conditions and different precipitation types, the driving conditions will not be ideal Monday morning going on through your Tuesday afternoon. Plus side is at least we have warming temps. Again, in terms of wet snowfall, by the time we end this weather system on Tuesday, looking at 1 to 3 inches across the entire area, maybe an isolated 3 or 4 inch amount stretching from, let's say, southwest Wisconsin to east central Wisconsin. That would include Mineral Point, Dodgeville, Madison, Watertown. Coming up in Maine weather, we are going to track this weather event hour by hour, and then we'll look just how long these mild conditions will last way out into the future.
All right, Alex, we'll see you then. After a long stretch of brutally cold temps and even more brutal road conditions, we could finally see some relief on at least one of those fronts. But the Streets Division is trying to make the most of rising temps and get ahead of even more rain and snow that we could see this week. Braden Ross explains.
If we thought it could work earlier, we would have done this earlier. No one was thrilled about the roads being as bumpy and slick and as anything that they were.
It's a question many of you have been asking for more than a week now. With the road conditions like they've been, where is the salt?
The temperatures were just so cold, and we never really hit that window where we thought it could make a difference.
City of Madison Streets Division spokesperson Brian Johnson says those road conditions were actually the lesser of two evils.
It was either make a bunch of ice or make hard-packed snow streets. Neither of those two choices were great, but we chose an option that at least we can kind of stand through that.
But as temperatures start to rise, Johnson says the salt is finally coming. Plows have started working to salt the snow-packed roads and plow the slush that's left behind.
We want to make certain the Monday morning commute is better than what we got all last week. That's why we've been on the salt routes Saturday. That's why we were on them today. We're going to probably be on them all throughout the day as the weather warms up.
And as for the possible snow and freezing rain and drizzle we could see on Monday and Tuesday, that strategy is still up in the air.
I wish we could definitely be more definite, but like as the weather sort of shifts and changes on us, we have to be able to shift with the weather.
And even though they're focused on keeping the streets safe moving forward, Johnson says they're not just letting last week's road troubles go.
What are we willing to invest in? What's that cost actually look like? We don't know any of that right yet, but we're going to figure it out. We will do our best to be better, and what better looks like is we're on our way to finding out.
Reporting in Madison, Braden Ross, News 3 Now.
You can keep up with plowing updates online at cityofmadison.com. Well, today was a good day to get outside and enjoy winter activities, especially as the City of Madison and Dane County waived activity permit requirements this weekend. This means folks got to enjoy ice skating, snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, and disc golf throughout Madison's parks. The city also hosted special events on Friday and Saturday, including nature adventures and snowshoe walks to encourage residents to get on outside. A Madison police sergeant was taken to the hospital for minor injuries after a hit-and-run incident on the east side last night. An MPD representative who spoke to News 3 Now said an unmarked squad car was hit by a vehicle near Cottage Grove Road and U.S. Highway 51. They say the sergeant was driving on Cottage Grove Road and saw the oncoming vehicle sliding on ice in front of him. The driver was unable to correct and T-boned the sergeant's car. The vehicle then fled the scene and has not been located. We have learned today that the officer was injured and has been discharged from the hospital. Anyone with information regarding this incident is asked to contact the Madison Area Crime Stoppers at 608-266-6014. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis late Sunday announced he has dropped out of the GOP primary and is endorsing former President Donald Trump. This just 2 days away from New Hampshire's first-in-the-nation primary. CBS's Christian Benavidez reports.
I am today suspending my campaign.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis ending his GOP bid for the White House.
It's clear to me that a majority of Republican primary voters want to give Donald Trump another chance.
In a video posted on social media, he endorsed former President Donald Trump.
He has my endorsement because we can't go back to the old Republican guard of yesteryear that Nikki Haley represents.
He ran a great race. Having said that, it's now one fella, one lady left.
Mr. Trump holds a commanding lead in New Hampshire. Still, he has been on the attack against Haley.
Nikki Haley is counting on Democrats.
On Fox News, the former president was asked why he mocks her first name, Nimrata, although she uses her middle name, Nikki.
With her, it's just something that came. It's a little bit of a takeoff on her name, her name, wherever she may come from.
Haley was born in the United States. She has been gaining ground in the polls. Not pulling any punches, she questioned Trump's mental acuity after a series of recent comments by Trump.
He claimed that Joe Biden was going to get us into World War II. I'm assuming he meant World War III. He said that he ran against President Obama. He never ran against President Obama.
She's also going after Trump over his age. He would be 78 at inauguration, same age President Biden was when he was inaugurated. Christian Benavidez, CBS News.
Speculation started to mount about the future of the DeSantis campaign after he suddenly canceled his Sunday show appearances. The families of the Israelis killed at a music festival during Hamas's October 7th attack are hoping to breathe new life into the site of the massacre by planting trees in the area. The families gathered on Sunday at the site near Kibbutz Re'im for the tree planting. The event was organized by the Jewish National Fund, a 120-year-old Zionist organization that acquires land, plants trees, and carries out development projects in Israel.
Show everyone, to show the world that we are here to stay. As the tree that develops its roots in the soil, we are here to stay.
The tribe of Nova Festival held a semi-wooded fields outside of Kibbutz Re'im, just a few miles from Gaza, was one of the first of the Hamas targets. According to the Israeli authorities, 364 people were killed at the Nova Festival site and at least 40 hostages taken. Coming up next at 10, how much plastic chemicals are really in the food you eat and what you can do about it. Consumer Reports explores.
Enjoy Buck and Honey's before, during, or after the big game. Buck and Honey's restaurants voted best of Madison and celebrating Wisconsin hospitality in Sun Prairie, Monona, Waunakee, and new in Mount Horeb.
There's no telling what the next Wisconsin Lottery scratch game will bring. It's Miss Pac-Man, the new $3 instant scratch game based on the classic arcade game. Scratch each start position in the grid and follow the directions of the symbols. If your path runs into a bonus symbol or ends at a prize spot, you could win up to $30,000. Instant scratch games from the Wisconsin Lottery. Odds are you'll like them.
Choose FlexBuy on a new Ford SUV and get 1.9% APR financing for 66 months, plus $1,500 FlexBuy cash. See your local Ford dealer.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With inflation rising at record levels and incomes not keeping pace, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596. Or visit www.kwwf.org.
Common is on the Jennifer Hudson Show, and everyone wants to know, so I'm asking, are you dating anyone?
Yes, but one of the most beautiful people I ever met. She's smart, she's talented.
On the next Jennifer Hudson Show at 3.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Welcome back. Throughout the entire weekend, the students of Camp Creatability proudly introduced their first ever theater production, a musical called At the Drive-In. Camp Creatability is a training facility and full-service studio for people of all ages on the autism spectrum. They specialize in training in the arts and entertainment in preparation for employment in the entertainment industry.
I'm so proud. I'm excited and proud of them. They've worked really hard and overcome a lot of challenges with it being our first time. So they've just kind of rolled with it and they're crushing it.
Today was the last of 3 performances of At the Drive-In. For the next 7 weeks, you'll get to hear the best poets and read each week at the 2024 Winter Festival of Poetry, which has officially begun today. The theme this year is Under the Big Top, celebrating the history of the circus. That means this year's poems will be about clowns, trapeze artists, and much more.
This event is the Winter Festival of Poetry. It's going on for 7 more weeks after this event. I think it's a great thing to come to, and it's very local, so you're going to hear a lot of local voices.
The Winter Festival of Poetry is a program of the Wisconsin Fellowship of Poets and is Madison's longest continuously running poetry program of its size. It is hosted by James P. Roberts and will run until March 10th. It sounds gross and dangerous, plastic chemicals lurking in the food we eat. But the reality is those chemicals are there, and we've known about it for decades. Recent testing by Consumer Reports reveals some of the foods with higher levels of these chemicals and how to avoid them.
Take a trip through the grocery store or stop at a fast food restaurant. From packaged produce to meat, canned foods to fast food, you name it. It probably contains some form of a chemical used to make plastic.
We tested a wide variety of packaged foods, 85 to be exact.
Lauren Friedman is a science journalist at Consumer Reports.
We were looking primarily for chemicals called phthalates, as well as bisphenols such as BPA, and we found them at levels that our scientists say are not okay.
Even at low levels, studies suggest these chemicals can contribute to an increased risk of diabetes, obesity, cardiovascular disease, and certain cancers. But eliminating these chemicals from our diet is hard, if not impossible.
The problem is it's not just about avoiding food that is wrapped in plastic. There are so many ways these chemicals can get into our food.
Take the conveyor belts and the food handling gloves used during food processing, even from contaminated water and soil. So what can you do to at least try to minimize chemical exposure? First, try to avoid plastic food storage containers. If you do use them, don't microwave them.
Heat can increase chemical leaching into your food, so it's a good idea to avoid storing hot food in plastic containers.
Stay away from fast foods, which were found to have some of the highest levels of plasticizers like phthalates in CR's tests.
One reason fast foods may have such high levels is that they're often prepared by people wearing vinyl gloves, which are known to be extremely high in these chemicals.
Try to eat fresh, minimally processed foods like unpackaged fruits and vegetables, which have fewer opportunities to touch things like phthalates. Stick with wood, stainless steel, and silicone kitchen tools. And swap out plastic water bottles for bottles made out of glass or steel. This is David Fazekas.
Consumer Reports also recommends limiting high-fat foods in your diet, as some research has found higher levels of phthalates in foods with higher fat content. And now take a look at this. A sinkhole in Vancouver, Washington nearly swallowed this SUV early Saturday morning. In a social media post, the Vancouver Police Department said the sinkhole was formed by a broken water main. The driver and passenger were able to escape safely through the trunk and side door without injuries, according to the social media post. Hopefully none of that goes on here. No sinkholes in Madison. And now we head on over to our first one forecast with Alex Harrington.
Yeah, no sinkholes, but we have plenty of dangerous weather to track here as well. Let's break this down here. And the three things that you need to know, a brief period. I mentioned this last night that we could be looking at a brief period of light freezing rain, sleet and snow on your Monday morning for parts of the area. The long anticipated wet snow and freezing rain conditions on Monday night going on into your Tuesday. We've been talking about this for days. That's still in the card, and mostly a rain system as we go Wednesday into your Thursday. So staying active. I've been saying for days, I did it beyond the barometer earlier in the week, that mild temperatures mean messy conditions when you bring weather systems in here. And here's alert day conditions number 1. This is for Monday through Monday evening for a brief period of light snow, freezing rain, followed by the potential of freezing drizzle. Get a little bit of freezing drizzle on those untreated roads. I've been saying for days too, these roads are way cold right now. It's not going to take much to make them icy out there. Alert day set number 2, we've been talking about this one for days for the weather system. Monday overnight going into your Tuesday for that freezing rain, changing over to that wet snow, especially for areas from Madison and points to the north and northwest. Let's break down the impacts here, folks. Monday morning, that possible mix and freezing drizzle. There will be a break. So I don't want folks to think that everything's all done when we get into your Monday evening. Later on your Monday overnight going on into your Tuesday, the freezing rain mix with that wet snow redevelops across southern Wisconsin. Bad driving conditions. It's already not super great out there right now. You had any icy conditions. It's not going to be any better. Plus side is, at least we've got warming temperatures here. Let's track this. This is this brief weather system here Monday morning. Let's say U.S. Highway 151 and points to the south and east, including Madison and Janesville and Monroe. That little bit of mix and light freezing rain here, folks. North and west, little lesser of chance of this brief mix here. But freezing drizzle is a possibility then in the afternoon and the evening that could cause slick spots too. And this looks no different than what we were looking at last night with the weather event moving in as we go towards that rush hour on your Tuesday with that snow, that mix towards the south and towards the east. Monroe and Janesville, lesser of a chance of snow, better of a chance of that ice and that rain activity. And then as we go on later into your Tuesday, the weather system quickly exits to the east with drizzle at the end. Right now we're looking at 1 to 3 inches across all of southern Wisconsin. The better chance for that 2, 3, maybe an isolated 4-inch amount at this point will stretch, let's say, from Grant County up to Dodgeville, up to Madison, and points to the north and east. Much lesser amounts towards the Wisconsin-Illinois border where you get more of that mix of that freezing rain and that snow. Bottom line, breaking it down, that potential morning little bit of freezing drizzle, freezing rain, and that light snow. The break possible Monday evening, then that light rain and that wet snow develops overnight Monday going on and lasting into your Tuesday. High temperatures are going to be warm over the next 10 days, so we could be looking at the potential here going even further out into the future, folks, of the potential for that melting of the snow, getting into the watershed, causing those ice jams and rivers to potentially start to looking at flooding conditions. That's a distinct possibility once we get past the messy weather. Even though it stays mild, we'll have that melting going on, Jalen, that we'll have to keep an eye on as well. Viewer photos time. Well, let's just have a little bit of fun for a few minutes. This is a live shot here looking at our webpage. Just click that post your own button and then we can accept those photos. Dave sends us this photo. Look at that deer trying to eat out of the bird feeder. We can zoom in on that. This is Dave here from Monona. Time for a snack. I got my bird feeders out too, and I have some other critters as well that like to come by with all these bitterly cold temperatures. They got to eat too, right? Let's take another little picture here. Oh, we'll zoom on down here. This is a fun one here from Donna. Look at this. Turkey up in a spruce tree here, trying to maybe look out over the scenery here. That's something you don't always see. So again, folks, we always love to take time to show the weather because I can report the weather, but with your photos, this goes to show what's going on in southern Wisconsin, which is really important.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Alex, and thank you all at home. And speaking of the weather, some electric vehicle owners in the Midwest say the winter cold is affecting the way they can use their vehicles. As Saria Sandlin has this report from Milwaukee.
Carol Thompson rented an electric vehicle for the first time on Thursday. A little more than 24 hours later, she says she's ready to take it back.
This is not what I want to do. I'm 75. I don't want to spend 2 hours charging up my car. I don't care if it's a gas guzzler. I'd rather take that and go on about my business.
She got a discount on the electric rental, but says it's not worth it.
I don't like it. It's not for me. You know, you got to stand here. It's cold. You know, some people go into Walmart, but, you know, you got to have money. 2 hours? What am I going to do for 2 hours?
Tom Fleming is on his way to Waukesha from Chicago to go cross-country skiing. He's had his electric Volvo for 2 years.
I like the car overall, and I like being part of the solution, so I like that about it. It's challenging this time of year. The range really gets zapped by the cold. The range just gets knocked out. I mean, it gets half of the range I do in the summer.
We asked an expert why the extreme cold is so rough on EVs.
The batteries, you know, it really comes down to the batteries. They need, you know, you need to keep them charged, you need to keep them warm. There's just not enough capacity for the charging stations. I mean, folks are stuck because they have to go to these few spots to be able to charge their electric vehicle, and they're just not available.
Chappell says with more government funding and more chargers nationwide, EVs will become more efficient.
Do you think people should still have confidence to go out and buy one?
Absolutely. I think that, you know, do your research and see what product you think is right for you.
Are you optimistic?
I am, yeah. I mean, it's going to take time. Hopefully, we'll start to see progress in the next year or so.
Coming up in sports, Andrew joins us to break down the Packers' heartbreaking loss to the 49ers last night.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Hy-Vee hot deals are burning hot. Hy-Vee pasta, just 88 cents. Honey Crisp apples, just 98 cents a pound. And Hy-Vee Angus Reserve sirloins, just $5.99 a pound. Only at Hy-Vee.
Everyone deserves a fulfilling job. But for people with disabilities, the barriers can be overwhelming. It's time to open the door to new possibilities. People with disabilities are getting the education, skills, and training needed to thrive in a wide variety of industries. And they're ready for an opportunity, a job, a career. Thinkability Wisconsin. All you have to do is start with yes. Join the movement at thinkabilitywi.org.
A concert experience you won't want to miss. It's the Commodores. Performing live Saturday, February 17th at Ho-Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. Tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster. 70 million albums sold, 7 #1 hits. The Grammy Award-winning Commodores. February 17th at Ho-Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. Your odds are better here.
To everyone who appreciates a handcrafted meal, are you ready for a taste of Wisconsin?
Butterburger's cooked fresh, just the way you like.
The way you love.
Definitely love. And our thick and creamy frozen custard, we make it for you all throughout the day.
All day.
All day, every day. Put it in the extra work and not cutting corners. Takes a little longer.
But it's how we've always done it at Culver's. Because making your meal with care shows how much we care.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Spectrum Mobile brings you our best deal to start the new year. Now you can get unlimited mobile for $15 per line. Switch to Spectrum Mobile Unlimited for just $15 per line with no added taxes or hidden fees and no contracts. Save over $1,400 for the first year. Call 855-231-7007. Spectrum Mobile includes nationwide 5G and the fastest wireless speeds with unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to Spectrum Mobile Unlimited for just $15 per line. Call 855-231-7007 or visit a Spectrum store near you.
Dear all-wheel drive, let's show the road what we've got. Snowy streets, we're coming for you. Icy grip, we're holding tight. Wintry mix, meh. Safety's the name of our game. Yours, Toyota all-wheel drive sedans.
Right now, get 4.99% APR for 60 months on a new Toyota RAV4, Corolla, Highlander, Tundra, or Crown. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Save every day with Hy-Vee Perks prices. Fresh Express Garden Salad. Hy-Vee Perks price, $1.48. Chicken breasts. Hy-Vee Perks price, $2.48 a pound. And 5 pounds of potatoes. Hy-Vee Perks price, $2.49. Sign up for Hy-Vee Perks.
If you feel like it's always the Packers who have these gut-wrenching losses, you'd be right. Since 2000, they've lost 5 playoff games while leading with 5 minutes to go, which is the most in the NFL. But don't start thinking after last night this is the same old Packers. In fact, Brett Favre, he said this morning that he thinks Jordan Love could be the greatest quarterback in Packers history. Jordan Love did look the part on the path to get the Pack to the playoffs, but didn't necessarily have his best game last night. Love went 21 for 34 for 194 yards and 2 touchdowns, but did throw 2 crucial second-half interceptions. Even if the future is shining bright, this one will sting for a while.
I think it'll sting for a while, watching all the games going forward. I think it'll sting just knowing that, we had an opportunity to win. We dropped the ball on that one. So it'll sting for a while.
I think part of the reason it stings so bad right now is we fully believed and fully expected to win this game. And give San Francisco credit, they made more plays. But I felt like we had plenty of opportunities to kind of put the game out of reach. And unfortunately, just didn't do enough.
And I think that right there, what Matt LaFleur just said, is the most painful part for Packers fans, is that it felt like it was their game to win, basically until the end of the game. But a few weeks ago, there were no expectations at all. Once this one got close, sure, it hurt that much more, but you got to look back at it and wonder. The dropped interception in the first quarter, not to mention not capitalizing on red zone chances, and the missed field goal.
Because I'm sure a lot of it's going to come down to the missed field goal, but there were plenty of opportunities. You go back in the first half and have 3 red zone opportunities and have 6 points. There's a lot of plays out there that it just, if one play goes different, we'll probably have a different result.
To the Wrestling Mat, where Wisconsin hosted Ohio State in their Big Ten home opener, and what a way to get this one started. Eric Barnett, the first match of the day, and Barnett in 32 seconds pins his man. Folks, that is simply unheard of. What a start for Eric Barnett. And then later, Dean Hamady trying to keep the wins keep on coming. Hamady gets the takedown, and that would lock up a tech fall. He wins. Spring Green native Shane Legal would win as well, but the Badgers as a whole, they dropped the dual meet 27-15. And I think we briefly talked about the game last night just in terms of highlights and stuff. I think we've digested it a little bit more now. I think the synopsis is pretty obvious. This is a Packers team that played really well down the stretch. Absolutely. Has a really bright future, but it's okay for last night to sting a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Great year to build off of. Obviously it hurt, but a lot of things to look forward to.
Absolutely.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Andrew. We'll be back with more after this.
Did we just get hustled? There's no way they were 70.
Interesting. It's both an electric and a gas car.
Yep.
Quite the paradox.
The first ever Lexus RX plug-in hybrid. Electric for short trips, gas for long. It really is both.
Get special offers on select Lexus RX models.
Hold on, I'm coming. You didn't tell me you were getting McDonald's.
Buy a sausage biscuit, sausage McMuffin, or sausage McGriddles, and get one for $1.
Spectrum Mobile brings you our best deal to start the new year. Now you can get unlimited mobile for $15 per line. Switch to Spectrum Mobile Unlimited for just $15 per line with no added taxes or hidden fees and no contracts. Save over $1,400 for the first year. Call 855-231-6922. Spectrum Mobile includes nationwide 5G and the fastest wireless speeds with unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to Spectrum Mobile Unlimited for just $15 per line. Call 855-231-6922 or visit a Spectrum store near you.
Wow, you really made our dreams come true.
Life's better when you're under our roof.
It's
Because when you feel totally protected, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve.
Guess that's what American Family Insurance is for. He's the wise twin.
I'm talking Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto with American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Come on, Michael, come on. Catch the ball! Huddle up! Do you need to get your eyes checked? Well, actually...
Here's the play. Stanton Optical makes glasses in 30 minutes. It's easy on 3. 1, 2, 3. Easy!
Hut! Come on, Michael, you got this! Come on, turn! Michael, catch! I can see! You did it! I did it!
30-minute glasses? Now that's an easy play. Stanton Optical. Easy's our thing.
Army National Guard soldiers have the option to train and learn skills in the trade fields, skills that can lead to employment at home as well. Find out how you can learn a trade and serve part-time for your community and country by visiting nationalguard.com.
Discover new opportunities together in a new Chevy. Meet up in an award-winning Equinox. Lend a hand in the Silverado with up to 14 available camera views. Or mix it up in the tracks with an 11-inch diagonal display screen. Find the Chevy that's right for you. Get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Silverado models. Or get $6,000 total cash allowance on this Silverado when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Exploring the mental impact of social media on kids, Monday at 6.
Andrew, we've talked about all season, all the young players, especially on the offensive side for the Packers, but going into next season, looking forward to seeing Lucas Van Ness a little bit more.
Yeah, Lucas Van Ness, a guy out of Iowa that's called Hercules when he was drafted for a reason. This is a guy that has incredible, physique, obviously, for football, but also the passion that we saw this year. Kind of had limited snaps, but the sack numbers started coming up at the end of the year. One of a couple, really a plethora of future Packers that are really going to be fun to watch.
Of course. All right. Thanks, Andrew. Check out the weather before we head on out.
Yep. 2 alert days to break down here. Messy mix possible for a brief period on your Monday morning, but then there'll be a break. And then as we go into your Monday overnight, going on into your Tuesday, freezing rain and snow. Could be looking at 1 to 4 inches of wet snow by the time the weather system ends later on your Tuesday.
All right. Well, sounds good. We'll see you all back here tomorrow.